believe in front of the dumpster, one of the parking spots right there, in the back, but in front of the dumpster.
Oh, because I sent two different people to search for it, and then they said they don't find it.
Yeah,
They cannot find it.
if they're trying to get it to beep, I'm pretty sure the battery is dead. Let's go ahead and talk about one of the biggest issues a lot of people have, and that is stress management. Listen, a lot of people have stress, but what people don't know is how stress affects them on a biological level, underneath with all the cells and everything. It can be detrimental, especially if you want to work out and get as big as you possibly can. Now, what I'm about to tell you is something I just found out a couple weeks ago. And ever since then, I've been trying to manage my stress, especially today. Let me get into that real quick. Stress blocks your androgen receptors, which basically takes up the testosterone that your body produces to build muscle. It's like building blocks, basically. You need one type of building block to connect to the other. So here's the testosterone. Here is the androgen receptor. They gotta bind together, and the androgen receptor needs to absorb the testosterone for full output of whatever the next process is in building muscle. So stress blocks the androgen receptor and the testosterone. So now there's something in the way that they're not able to connect and be absorbed, because it is absorbing the stress. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to say it's cortisol. That is the main hormone for stress. But I don't know the full dynamics of that. But from what I found out recently is stress is a huge component of blocking androgen receptors from uptaking testosterone. How accurate that is, I'm not 100% sure. And AI told me that when I asked how to improve androgen receptors, and stress was at the top of that. So that's what one of the reasons what I'm trying to do is stay calmer than I already am, control what I can control and focus on the things that I cannot control, focus on the things I can control, not focus on the things that I cannot control. So stress can be caused by many different things, especially for a lot of different people, There's different aspects, different levels, different amounts. We're all different in that aspect, but how it affects us underneath, it's all the same. And for me, this past weekend has been kind of stressful. Mainly, man, I can't see, I gotta go back inside. A couple weeks ago, my car battery died. Cool, replace it, we're all good, right? A week later, it dies again, which was this past weekend. And I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be the alternator, it's gonna be whatever. So I take it to a shop, right? Fantastic, the shop is open on Sundays. We'll have it done by then, right? I let the shop know the situation, I bought a new battery. So it's probably the alternator. And I'm like, all right, do you want us to do a check for you to make sure that it is the alternator? I'm like, yeah, might as well make sure that that is the issue and not something else. Sunday morning, I get a call. They're like, hey, yeah, it looks like it is the alternator. Do you want us to go ahead and switch it out? Yeah, go ahead. Awesome, perfect, thank you. About 2 hours later, I get another call. And they're like, looks like your battery is also dead and it's not charging. First red flag, weird that it's not charging up, even though I just bought that battery a week ago. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead and switch it out. I'll just return the one that I got. So then I get another call. They're like, yeah, your car's ready to go. Come pick it up. So I go pick it up. And they're like, hey, the battery that we put in is also dead. Must have been a bad cell or something. We're switching it out for you real quick. All right, cool. Wait like 5-10 minutes, and like, looks like we still need to program the new battery to your car. Looks like it's gonna be a little while for them to figure out what exactly, how to program it. Bro, you gotta stop. I'm not playing with you right now. Bro, what are you doing? Just wanted some attention. So they have to figure out how to program it. Cool, all right, I'll come back and I have some things to do. It's about 4 o'clock and they call me. Well, I call them actually. I'm like, hey, just calling to check up. It's been about 2 hours. My car ready to go. And they're like, yeah, we just have one error code that we're trying to get rid of, but it should be done in about 20 to 30 minutes. So now it's closing time. There's about 20 minutes left. When I arrive to pick up my car, the guy, is trying to pull it out of the garage, and the car won't start now, at all. So there's a new battery. So 3 batteries have been put in there. The alternator has been switched out and the car is still not starting. So at this point, I'm not very happy. I paid for a service that's supposed to double check to make sure that the alternator or the battery was the issue. Clearly, that has not been the issue. So unfortunately, I can't say anything right now. I just asked the guy, like, oh, what's your speculation? What do you think the issue is right now? They're like, well, my best guess right now would probably be to check the starter, but we don't know for sure. I'm like, cool. And I'm thinking, all right, it's gonna be the starter. How much is it gonna cost? Another $1,000. So I go home. Can't do anything about this right now. Thinking about everything that has gone through, everything that I said to you. This does not make any sense at all. All 3 things that require a car to turn on, battery, starter, and alternator, are all out at the same time. There's no way. So first thing in the morning, Monday morning, which is yesterday, I call. I'm like, hey, this is a situation. I'm not very happy about it. I paid for the service to make sure that the alternator was the issue. Now you're telling me that it's not. And I basically dumped all the information on him. And he's like, oh, at least let me take a look at it, right? Like, cool. Let them take a look at it, whatever. So then I call their corporate office an hour later because, you know what? I'm gonna get them involved. Like, I'm not gonna be paying for something else that was not an issue prior to me taking it in. When I picked it up, the first time it started, it just needed to jump up. So there's no reason the starter to be out. So I let them know, look, listen, this was not an issue when I dropped it off. This was not an issue the first time I picked it up. It was an issue the second time I was trying to pick it up. Somebody messed up, either by accident or on purpose or whatever. Something is not right. I'm not paying for anything more to fix it. I'm not. A couple hours later go by. The guy calls me and he's like, hey, we figured out the issue. Something is straining your battery. You're gonna have to take it to the shop, to the BMW shop, to get it fixed or get it looked at for more in-depth inspection. At this point, I already had my mindset of what I was going to do, but I just let them know, hey, I appreciate everything you guys have done. I would like you just to put everything back how I left it, the alternator, the batteries that I put in there, and whatever else. The guy wasn't really happy about it because I asked him for a refund. Now that my car is back together the way I left it, well, technically not back together because they left the new alternator inside. Don't know why they did that, even though I explicitly said, put it back together. And he said, do you want me to put the dead battery or dead alternator back in there? I'm like, yeah. At this point, I cannot say for certain that that was the issue and that was causing the problem because, well, something else is still draining the battery. Something else, it's still dying. So you cannot tell me for certain that the alternator was bad. I can take your word for it, but I cannot know for sure. So yes, please put it back together. So when I'm picking up my car, getting it towed, I look under the hood, and look, new alternator. I don't know why they left it. They returned my money for it, appreciate it. I explicitly asked them to put it back together, and we had a conversation as to why. And the guy said, okay, cool. 2 hours later, I get a call, hey, your car's ready to pick up. I said, all right, I'll be there later before you guys close to pick it up. That's why I'm a little stressed about the situation. Currently don't have a car, and my car is at the BMW shop where it should have been in the first place. Now let me go into how I'm gonna manage my stress and what you should be doing when you manage your stress. The way I'm gonna be managing stress is going back to my original habits, stuff that I like doing. One of them is working out. Right now, since I don't have a car, I technically don't have an ability to work out. And doing at-home workouts, it's just not my thing. I don't enjoy doing it. I like to lift weights. I don't have anything here. Like I could mock up something, but it's not gonna be enough for me to get a true benefit out of the workout. I can do movements, but personally for me, going to the gym is a great way to release stress and release endorphin. One of the other things that I personally enjoy doing, and it's something that I've stopped doing a very long time ago, and that is reading. Reading. Favorite artist right now is Robert Greene. He's made some amazing books. They've been life-changing. I've seen the world in a new perspective, that's for sure. I don't think it's necessarily his perspective, but it's just more eye-opening on situations. Currently, the book that I'm wanting to read is Mastering Your Craft and focusing on, at least that's what I've read so far. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, months. My goal is to read about 10 pages a day just from that book. It's something I used to do a lot last year, and it was a lot more consistent. Lately, I've not, so that's one of the reasons why I want to get back into reading and, just being more creative mentally, help release some stress, and The feeling of satisfaction of reading makes me feel so much better every single time, mainly because I've never used to read. I was not a reader. I didn't care for reading, and now that I'm doing it myself for pleasure, it's very stimulating and very rewarding because I'm doing it on my own. This is the cover of the book Mastery by Robert Greene. He also wrote The 48 Laws of Power, which is the first book that I read. Great book. And one of the other things that I like to do to keep my mind off of things, just kind of build more skill besides, reading, is actually focusing on something else that's beneficial for me. Right now, it is learning how to edit in a different program and just editing in general. Right now, that encompasses learning the program, color grading, audio work, visual effects. So I downloaded Blackmagic Design, their editing software, and learning all the tools, going through all their training that I possibly can to learn how to take advantage of the editing software to its fullest potential, even though I'm only going to be making videos for the internet like this one. Those are 3 things that I personally enjoy doing on a more consistent basis. The reading portion, though, that is, I definitely 100% need to get more consistent with doing that. So let me know down below, what do you do to help relieve your stress? What is causing your stress, either or? And do you think you would try any of these? Would you try working out if you don't already? Would you try reading? Would you try just learning a new skill that may or may not be helpful? One of the other skills that I'm thinking about learning is Photoshop, since I gotta make thumbnails. What's up, boy? Oh yeah, just putting this guy over here. Control what's gonna happen next to my car. So it is what it is. Hopefully it's not too expensive to fix it because, well, it's already a pretty expensive car that I'm paying every single month for. But you know what? That's what I get for having a luxury BMW car. So yeah, again, let me know how you handle stress, what you do to relieve yourself of stress. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's productive. Hopefully it's meaningful, that it's leading you in a new direction. Like I said, for me, it is reading books, especially more self-help and business books. The other one is working out, which this channel is all about. Learning a new skill. And I want to say there was a 4th one. I don't remember what the 4th one is. Let me know down below if you want to go back and let me know. I'm going to stay positive. If I'm able to hit the gym, we're going to go to the gym next. If not, thanks for watching this video. Click this video up here to watch the rest of the winter booking series. Today I'm just going to take it as a rest day because, well, I don't have a car and my gym is a 30-minute drive and I'm not paying an Uber to go take me 30 minutes to the gym and 30 minutes back home. That's like $40 right there for one way. I'm gonna have to call it a rest day probably for the next couple of days. And it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's not something I can really control. I'm gonna focus more on my reading and building my skills and doing more talking videos until I'm able to go back to the gym. Want to fetch? Go. Go, fetch. Come on, bring it back. Come on. Come on. No, come on. Bring it back over here. I'm going inside. Come on, Ricky.